Today, we're gonna build the scariest horror Lego sets from your favorite horror games. From Poppy Playtime, Five Nights at Freddy's, to Garten of Banban, I built all the coolest and scariest characters. Then we'll test how scary each Lego build is on my dog to determine which Lego build is the scariest. And let the challenge begin. First, I'm gonna build the toy version of the new scary character introduced in Poppy Playtime 3, Catnap. I'm gonna get a bunch of purple Legos for this build and start with the little base. I built Lego Catnap in the brick head style, since I felt that it fit the toy appearance of Catnap. So I started building its little arms and legs, as well as the yellow crescent moon on its body. Then I started working on Catnap's big head and added its big smile. And then layered some gray Legos on the inside and put the purple ones on the outside. Then I added Catnap's cute little ears and finished the build. The finished Catnap looks really good and accurate to the toy and plush version. I really like the colors and the big smile. I also love the yellow crescent moon design. And I also added Catnap's signature big tail as well, which is really long but can also move side to side, which is really cool. Catnap's arm can also move side by side to say hi. Since Catnap is my favorite smiling critter, I love this Lego design, and the brickhead design is really suitable for Catnap. Maybe I'll build a scary Catnap in the future. And now, let's test how scary Catnap is with my dog. And what is he doing? I guess Catnap got some riz instead of being scary. Next, I'm gonna build Grimace, a McDonald's character that I think should be in a horror game. I'm gonna get a bunch of purple pieces and start building Grimace's body. I'm gonna try and make Grimace big and scary because I feel like Grimace has always looked kind of creepy. I layered a lot of purple pieces together and started creating an avocado shape since Grimace is kind of built like one. Then I started building the face by adding his big mouth and eyes. I built his forehead and also added his eyebrows because those kind of creep me out. Next, I added some curved pieces to round out the edges. Then he started to creep me out, so I started building a McDonald's hat for him to wear by combining some yellow Lego pieces and leaving him a hole to attach to his head. And now we're gonna put his hat on him, and sheesh! Grimace looks pretty good with the hat. I like how it turned out, and you can even move his hat around so Grimace can live out his skater boy dreams. Although his face looks really creepy, so... Anyways, let's continue the build by building his arms next. I added the Grimace Shake and a McDonald's burger for him to hold, and I also used the rest of the Lego pieces to build his legs and attach it to his body. And when finished, the build looks really good and accurate. I might not be able to sleep tonight with the way Grimace's lopsided googly eyes are looking straight at me. My favorite additions are the McDonald's burger attached to his left hand and the Grimace Shake attached to his right hand. And together, the build looks amazing. I hope that a horror game with Grimace is released sometime in the future because that would definitely be popular and fun and definitely creepy. And now, let's do the scare test with my dog. And my dog's creeped out by Grimace. Next, we're gonna build the iconic horror game that recently got adapted into a movie, Five Nights at Freddy's. I started by building the famous show stage that the animatronics appear on. I wanted the stage to be tall, so I built a big base and added base plates for the stage. And I also started adding the checkerboard design on the floor. Since the show stage has an elevated stage for the animatronics to perform on, I started building the platform by adding thick pieces and brown Legos to build the wooden stage. I also built the wall in the back and added the famous checkerboard wallpaper shown in the game. I still remember how scared I was when I entered the show stage for the first time playing this game. The movie scene at the stage was also super cool. I'm glad they included those details into the movie. Then I added the details of the stage by creating the beams in the front and on top of the gray Legos to create the overall structure of the building. Then I added the details of the small show lights on top of the stage with different colors and also made some red curtains that cover the animatronics at night. I added some purple seats for the viewers at the front, fixed some details, and voila! The show stage is complete. This looks super cool and accurate to the game and the movie. Since Five Nights at Freddy's is one of my favorite ultimate horror games, I wanted to make sure this looks as close to the game as possible. So to make it even cooler, I added the animatronics as Lego minifigures at the front, adding Chica with her little Mr. Cupcake, Bonnie with his electric guitar, and Freddie Fazbear in the middle with his mic. And with the animatronics, the build looks so cool. I love that the minifigures have all the details like Mr. Cupcake and the guitar, since honestly, I've always wanted to have Bonnie's sick electric guitar. This show stage scene looks perfect. They honestly look like they might start moving, so keep an eye out for me. But we still have some characters missing, so I'll add a Foxy minifigure next with his pirate eye patch, and hook for a hand. I'll put him hanging on the stage beam. Next, I built the golden Freddie, and I put him at the top of the stage so he's secretly spying on everyone. And now the show stage looks even better with more characters. These unofficial LEGO minifigures for Five Nights at Freddy's look so good and accurate. Comment down below which one is your favorite. I think my favorite has to be Bonnie because of the rock electric guitar. Next, I wanted to build some bigger LEGO versions of the animatronic minifigures. So I got some more LEGO pieces and started building Freddy Fazbear with his top hat and bun nose. He looks pretty good for how easy he is to build. I'm gonna put him in the back, and next I'm gonna build Bonnie, but I ran out of darker purple Legos, so I used lighter pink ones for the build. I added the bunny ears as well as the lighter colored belly. He honestly looks more cute than scary, but I like it so far. Then to finish off the rest of the animatronics builds, I used the rest of the Legos to build Chica and Foxy. For Foxy, I made sure to add his red fox ears, as well as his pirate eye patch and pirate body parts, which I used gray Legos to create. I think Foxy's design is pretty accurate and probably the coolest one so far. And finally, we're gonna build Golden Freddy, which is one of the most interesting animatronics in both the game and movie. I also gave Golden Freddy a top hat, black eyes, and button nose, and also made his arms movable so he can creepily wave hi to you. And now the whole Five Nights at Freddy's LEGO build is complete with all the bigger animatronics, the minifigures, and the show stage building. Honestly, the bigger animatronics don't look scary, but I still like how they turned out in the end. And now it's time for the scare test. I'm gonna use Foxy for the test, and let's show him to my dog. And he's running away from Foxy. Next, I'm gonna build Garten of Banban, one of the most popular horror video games. First, I wanted to build Jumbo Josh since he's one of the first characters you think of when it comes to Garten of Banban. I used green Legos to build this giant muscular creature with a humanoid shape. I built his head first with a bunch of round pieces and added his gigantic googly eyes and scary rows of teeth to finish his head build. And Jumbo Josh's Lego head looks exactly like the actual character. He has such a big head, but I feel like he's not that smart. But anyways, I started building his body, which is lumpy but muscular at the same time. And I also built Jumbo Josh's gigantic arms and hands, which are shaped like a huge fist. And after finishing his body, I attached it to Jumbo Josh's big head to finish the first Garten of Banban Lego build. Jumbo Josh looks really cool, and I like that his arms can move up and down. And the shape looks really accurate to what Jumbo Josh looks like in the game. And he looks super creepy, except why does he look like he's skipping leg day at the gym? And now we're gonna build Slow Celine, a snail monster first introduced in Garten of Banban 2. I honestly thought she was an innocent snail, but boy was I wrong when she charges at you to jump scare you. The Lego build looks amazing with the snail shell details and the eyes sticking out of the top that stare into your soul. But anyways, let's put her away and let's build Sheriff Toadster next. Sheriff Toadster was teased for a while, but his monster form finally appeared in Garten of Banban 4, and it was super scary. I built a small version of Sheriff Toaster, but it looks accurate with his Sheriff star and hat. I really like how he looks. And now that we're done building Sheriff Toaster, let's put him in the back. Next, we're gonna build Nab Nab, one of the scariest creatures in Banban. I started by building his body, which is a large mouth with a bunch of sharp teeth, and then built his oval-shaped body with blue Legos. I then added his 3 eyes and a little birthday party hat, and then built his arms and legs, which look like spider legs because of how sharp and thin they are. And when complete, I love how it has all the details with the rows of teeth and the little birthday hat. I could definitely say that I would not want this guy to be chasing me at night. And the next set of Garten of Banban characters are done, from Slow Celine, Nab Nab, to Sheriff Toaster. Next, I decided to build Captain Fiddles, one of the funnier looking characters in Garten of Banban. Since he's a short king, I used some purple Legos to create his stubby legs and big body, and also built his 2 teeth sticking out of his mouth. I also built his arms and his gigantic eyes and put everything together. And when finished, he looks pretty accurate to the depiction in the game. For some reason, every time I see Captain Fiddles, he reminds me of a character in Monsters, Inc. And next, we're gonna build the main mascot of Banban's kindergarten, Banban. Banban looks like a humanoid figure, so I used some red Legos to build his body, and also added his 2 little horns with party hats at the top. His smiley face and his tongue sticking out is kind of funny, but looks super accurate to the actual in-game Banban. He's probably my favorite character, but he looks pretty scary when he gets mad. Let's see if he appears again in the future. And our next Banban build will be Bambolina, a fan favorite character who is a counterpart to Banban. Her appearance is really similar to Banban, so the design is relatively similar, except she has a pink bow to the right of her head and no tongue sticking out. And the final build is amazing. She looks just as good as Banban. She looks really scary when she jump scares you, and her modified form is even more terrifying. And our next Garten of Banban build will be Stinger Flynn, a scary creature that looks like an orange jellyfish that tries to kidnap people in the kindergarten. I built his one eye in the middle of the head, and then started building the orange tentacles that are connected to Stinger Flynn's jellyfish body. And after building all the tentacles and connecting them, Stinger Flynn's Lego is complete and looks super cool. I like that this depicts when Stinger Flynn walks and the two of his little tentacles float on the side. Stinger Flynn seems like he's hiding a lot about Banban's kindergarten, so we'll see what happens in the future games. Now for our final Garten of Banban build, I built Opal Bird, one of the evil monsters that is shaped like a pink flamingo bird. I used pink Legos to build the flamingo-like body and also added some wings on the side. Then I also started building her head with her yellow beak, and also built Opal Bird's yellow legs. And after connecting all the parts together, Opal Bird is complete. Opal Bird looks so innocent, but she always jump scares you in the game. And now the whole Garten of Banban Lego set is finished, with a bunch of characters from the different games. Comment which other Garten of Banban characters you would like me to build in future videos. And now it's time for the scare test, and I'm gonna use Bambolina first. And hold on a second, what is he doing? Hey, stop! Okay, how about if we use Nab Nab? And he's scared again! The next horror game we'll be building in Lego is from Roblox, a game called Doors. I'll be building a lot of entities you can encounter in Doors. And the first one I'm going to build is Screech. Screech is known to jump scare you in dark rooms, and can also make a psst sound to notify its presence. I also made the Screech float, and also built its scary mouth and the tentacle looking things that come out of it. I'm going to put it in the back and build the next entity, Seek. Seek is an entity that emerges from an unknown black substance. He kind of looks like a human, but he definitely isn't, and he'll start chasing you like crazy. I built a human-like body and also built his round head, which has a scary looking eyeball on it. The build looks exactly like the Roblox character. It almost looks like he's about to start chasing me right now, so I'll put him in the back quickly. Doors is one of the scariest Roblox games I've ever played. Subscribe if you like Doors, and let me know which Doors entity you think is the scariest of all and jump scared you the most. And the next entity I'll be building is the Figure, one of the scariest monsters in Doors that uses sound to track its prey. I built its head with its face as a mouth with a bunch of teeth, and built its long arms that can grab its prey, and also added lighter Legos for its rib cage. The Figure kind of reminds me of a Demogorgon in Stranger Things. Both are creepy. Next, I built Timothy the Spider, one of the most annoying entities that jumps out when you open a container with it inside. I built its bright red eyes and built each of its spider legs that have sharp edges to complete the build. And the Lego model looks really cool. Each of the legs can move up and down to make it look more realistic. And next we're gonna build the eyes, an entity that, as you can tell by the name, has a bunch of eyes. It has 37 eyes, but I didn't want to build that many, so I just added a bunch of eyes and built some squiggly lines to represent the purple smoke that it's usually in. The eyes will attack you if you look at them, so hurry, don't look at it. Okay, you can look now. And the Roblox Door Lego set is complete, with some of the main monsters you'll encounter built here. From some creepy crawlers to larger figures that'll chase you down, to other entities that you don't want to look at. We've built them all. And it's time for a quick scare test with the eyes. And whoa, my dog is super scared! And the next terrifying game I'm building is Choo Choo Charles, a train come alive that chases you down the railroad. And let me magically get my railroad. Yay! And let's start building the railroad that Choo Choo Charles chases you on. I'm gonna add some dirt and gravel and some plants growing on the side, and it looks pretty good. I like how the railroads look, and I can't wait to build Choo Choo Charles next. I started by building all the wheels, which was pretty fun to make by using some gray Lego wheels. I then connected all 4 of them to make the base and added a few pieces to make the foundation. Then I added some red and black pieces together to create the base of the train box, which looks pretty good so far. And then started adding details like adding the hooks to the side and the train lights. Choo Choo Charles has one of the most interesting designs since he's half train and half spider, so I wanted to make the Lego build as accurate as possible. I started building the intricate details like the top of the train with the funnels on the roof on the top of the train. Then I attached the box to the end of the train and then started building the main part that contains the monster Choo Choo Charles. This Lego build was so detailed and is probably the most difficult Lego build so far out of the horror games. But I really like building it since Choo Choo Charles is one of my favorite horror games after I saw Markiplier play it. And now the back middle parts of the train are complete, and it's time to build the spider legs that Choo Choo Charles is known for. It was so terrifying watching Choo Choo Charles run at you with the spider legs behind you, especially when it can run faster than normal trains with those legs. Building the legs took a while with all the tiny Lego pieces, but I also added the tiny hooks at the end for the spider legs, since it looked scarier that way. After that, I started connecting all the pieces and assembling the legs to the main train body, and now it's time to start building the face. and then added the Choo Choo Charles face sticker on top of it to make it look extremely realistic and scary at the same time. And now Choo Choo Charles is complete, and wow, the build actually looks so scary, especially with the big spider legs and the scary face. And now let's add it to the railroad, and also add some little snakes to the side. And voila! The whole Lego set is complete. Choo Choo Charles might be one of the scariest horror game monsters ever, so I'm glad this build gives him justice. And he looks kind of terrifying. He better not visit me in my dreams tonight. And now it's time to introduce Choo Choo Charles to my dog. And he's super scared of Choo Choo Charles. And our final build is gonna be Siren Head, one of the most famous monsters that should definitely have its own horror game at this point. I started by building the gigantic sirens for the Siren Head, making big cone-shaped sirens and attaching it to the pole, and adding some little connectors as well. Siren Head clips are so creepy when you see the sirens peeking out from the sky. So I'll be making Siren Head super tall, which will require a lot of long Lego pieces if I want to make this Siren Head look tall. I added a bunch of brown Lego pieces and layered them together. I also wanted to make Siren Head's distinctive chest and back area, so I added a few curved pieces for its muscles. Siren Head remains a mystery and there isn't much information about it besides its appearance, so I wanted to make it look as accurate as possible. I added some bony pieces to represent the bones that stick out of Siren Head's body, and it looks pretty good so far, and looks similar to the Siren Head in Trevor Henderson's videos. Then I connected Siren Head's body to the head to complete the top portion of the build. And next, I started building the arms by making them long and skinny, and also added claws to make it look super scary. And whoa, the results look really good. I like how spooky it looks. Let's attach the arms to the body, and yay! Siren Head is starting to look super tall. Then I built the other arm in the same style with the long limbs and the sharp claws, which has a really cool smooth look to it, and attached the arm to Siren Head's body. And now it's time to build Siren Head's gigantic legs, starting with its giant feet. I used similar claw-like shapes and also made the legs look longer with a tube-shaped design, and also added the knees and the bones for the legs. And it looks really accurate to the bony long legs that Siren Head uses to chase people with. I added it to the main body, and whoa! The Siren Head is starting to look really tall. And to complete the build, I finished building the other leg and foot by using the rest of the brown Legos and sharp pieces. I'm really excited to see how this turns out. And to add a unique touch, I also built a little club weapon for Siren Head to use and attach it to his hand. And now the ultimate Siren Head Lego build is complete. It's super tall and has all the little details like the sirens and the connecting wires. From the bones sticking out of the gigantic claws, I think this might be my scariest Lego build ever. And the final test, let's see if he's scared of the ultimate Siren Head. And he's ultra scared!
Why you bullying me?
And now we've officially finished building all the Lego horror monsters for today. And phew, we built a lot. From famous horror games to famous monsters that have yet to have horror games released for them, I built all the most terrifying creatures today. Comment which Lego horror build you thought was the scariest. From Five Nights at Freddy's to Catnap to the famous Siren Head or even Garten of Banban. Which scary monsters rule them all? Well anyways, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and see you next time.